I just wanted to record some observations, some thoughts. I know I haven't done a video in a long time, but I've been busy. Quite a few things to talk about. First thing is the realization on reflection that much of a man's suffering, for want of a better word, in terms of mental suffering or emotional suffering, much of it could be said to be self-inflicted. Now, I know we understand that men get manipulated and abused and all of that, but once you get past that point and you're on this road on your own, there seems to be a struggle for many men. They seem to have this inner turmoil, this conflict, and it's between the man and himself. There's nobody else involved, and the suffering comes with the expectations that he's been led to believe, or the lies he tells himself and convinces himself could possibly be true. And again, it's all of this conditioning. Some of it's external, some of it's become internal. You know, we've internalized those messages and we believe some of it. There's been so much false information given to us over the years. I mean, it would take more than a lifetime to sift through all of it and decide what's real and what's not real, what works and what doesn't work. But at the end of the day, what you choose to believe is what you choose to believe. And in the context of life and life choices, we do have choice, but there are also constraints that come with those choices. There are certain things that aren't available, certain things that we are led to believe are available, certain things that we convince ourselves are available to us, but in reality they're not. And if we go down that road and chase those things that we want, that we desire, we will meet a brick wall, because we made a bad choice. We chose to believe that some things are accessible to us. Maybe some men even choose to believe that they're entitled to have these things, without realizing that when you hear about other people who supposedly have these things and are supposedly happy with these things and these lifestyles they've chosen, in reality they're not. But these people that paint these pictures are often not happy, or they're only temporarily happy. They will only tell you about the good aspects of the lives they live, because deep down they're trying to convince themselves that they've made a good choice, and they're in denial about the negative aspects of their life. See, I've got many friends who are married, they've got children, they chose that lifestyle. Maybe it was imposed on them through external conditioning. Maybe they didn't realize that they've just adopted a lifestyle which is predetermined for men because they want to fit in. They bought into the worker drone, the slave mentality, and they don't realize it, like many of us didn't realize it when we were that man. But these men try to convince themselves that they're happy And deep down they know there's something wrong. Deep down they keep trying to make it work. They keep asking themselves, why, despite all of their efforts, are they not happy? Do they feel like they're being exploited? But that's their problem. You know, we can only try to wake them up, and they will defend that to the hilt. They will defend their choice to the hilt. There's nothing we can say that will help some of these men get out of those situations because they're too deeply entrenched. They would have to give up everything they believe in, everything they've bought into, everything they've invested their life in up until now. So you would expend too much of your energy. So that brings me on to another point. How much of your emotional energy do you invest in these choices that we may or may not make? How much of our time and effort, emotionally, mentally, time spent thinking, how much is expended on thinking about these things which ultimately are unobtainable, or if we could obtain them, really wouldn't be worth the time and effort. In fact, they'd be detrimental to your life. How many of these things are like a Faustian deal? How many of these things cause men to suffer? It's like running in sand, or someone constantly moving the goalposts. You're chasing this dream and you think you're close to it, and then all of a sudden it's off in the distance again. It's just a waste of your time. So when you let go of those dreams, when you let go of those choices, which really are constraints, you think you're making a choice that's beneficial to you, but it's just something you cannot have. How many of these ideas are causing you to suffer? And really all you need to do is something very easy and just let go of it. Just let go of it. It's like a self-imposed prison cell, and you're the only person with the key. You've had the key to your freedom all along. The answer isn't outside, the answer is with you. And for me, to get to that place, it wasn't a case of obtaining something or finding something. For me, it was more of a case of just letting go. Letting go of all the things that were weighing me down, cutting them off. You see how much energy is expended by holding on to something that tightly. If you imagine a physical grip on something and you won't let go, eventually you'll become exhausted. But if you just loosen your grip and let go of these ideas, you'll realize how much stress and how much energy you were losing. Look at the possessions people feel they need to have to define their own sense of self, to project success or wealth, so they can say to other people, look at me, I've made it, and be accepted by the group, be validated by the group. All of that effort just for other people's approval. Some people will respect you more and try to manipulate you less if you turn round to them and say, honestly, I don't want the things you've got. I don't want any of that. I want to be my own person. And then they'll look at you and realize that you've thought long and hard about this, and they'll respect you for that. And there'll be a moment of silence where it suddenly dawns on them that maybe what they've been doing up until now is wrong, or maybe there's a better way for them to live. and they'll look at you curiously and think, what does he know that I don't know? How comes he can be so comfortable in the notion that he doesn't need those things, and he doesn't care what I think about him? He doesn't care if I think he's less successful, or less of a man, or less of a person, because he hasn't lived up to those dreams and aspirations that everybody else has felt the pressure to live up to. In fact, he doesn't even care about them. He's let go. And they'll see, when they look in your eyes, they'll see that you really don't care. And it's not that you're neglecting yourself or you've given up. It's that you realise that it's not worth it. And they'll actually see in your eyes that you know, deep down, most of these people have made a mistake and they can't find a way out because they're in too deep. They've invested half of themselves in another person. They've invested years and thousands of pounds or dollars into this lifestyle, and deep down they don't like it. They're unhappy. So for me, just to let go. I don't want those things. I don't want that lifestyle. I don't want much. And the things I've got, many of the things I've lost, houses, possessions, people in my life, they're gone, and they were only ever temporary. And the things I've got now, they're temporary. If it all goes tomorrow, and I sit there on the side of the road with nothing again, it doesn't matter. And I can live with that. It won't destroy me. It won't finish me. I'll just get back up again and do what I've always done. I'll pick up the phone and speak to men I know, other men I know. And then I'll go to work with those men because they know I'll do a good day's work. And from that point onwards, I'll build another life. I'll build a life again from nothing. And if I have to do that over and over again until the day I die, then so be it. That's the way it is. But if you can build a life and gain some security without investing yourself in other people or buying into other people's dreams and aspirations, if you can think independently and not be coerced or manipulated by other people or all of these messages on TV or the radio or wherever, if you can think independently and be your own man and honestly say to people, I don't want the things you want, I'm happy for you, go off and live your life, but please don't try to convince me that I need those things or I should want those things, because honestly I don't. And in that respect, that's when you allow yourself to leave that cell. Maybe the door's always been open, you know, or you've had the key all of the time, but it's so easy. Just walk out. Just walk away from it all, because you're not missing anything. Nothing. In fact, you're better off than these people. Look how much freedom you've got. When you let go, just let go and loosen your grip. Every single day from that point forward, when you've let go, you get your energy back. You stop torturing yourself in your mind, what if only, telling yourself that you want those things, you know, and being sad, I can't have those things, my life isn't worth anything. Those are the thoughts men have, if you're honest. If you're honest, and you think life is so unfair, how is it that some people have got these things and I can't have them? What makes you think they're happy? What makes you think they've got those things? They're telling you life is good. Or you're telling yourself their lives are better than yours. But really, are they? And if you've been there before, you can look back and say, I've had those things. Did they make me happy? And I think most of you will turn around and say, no, they didn't make me happy. In fact, they made me very, very unhappy and very tired and very stressed and all of those other negative feelings that are associated with it. But we don't want to go back there. So there was a concept used, or a phrase used, about moving on. And really, you can't move on until you let go of all of those things that held you back. So that's where I'm at now. Just let go. Just let all of it go.